Before watching this video, please take a look on my previous video about platelets. It would be more helpful. Now, let's get started with thrombocytopenia. Thrombocytopenia means the presence of very low number of platelets in the circulating blood. People with thrombocytopenia have a tendency to bleed, as do hemophiliacs, except that the bleeding is usually from small venules or capillaries rather than from larger vessels as in hemophilia. As a result, small punctate hemorrhages occur throughout all the body tissues. The skin of such a person displays many small purplish blotches, giving the disease the name thrombocytopenic purpura. Ordinarily, bleeding will not occur until the number of platelets in the blood falls below 50,000 per microliter, rather than the normal, which is 1,50,000 to 3 lakh per microliter levels. As low as 10,000 per microliter are frequently lethal. Even without making a specific platelet count in the blood, sometimes one can suspect the existence of thrombocytopenia if the person's blood clot fails to retract. As discussed in the previous video, clot retraction is normally dependent on release of multiple coagulation factors from the large numbers of platelets entrapped in the fibrin mesh of the clot. Most people with thrombocytopenia have the disease known as idiopathic thrombocytopenia, which means thrombocytopenia of unknown cause. In most of these people, it has been discovered that for unknown reasons, specific antibodies have formed and react against the platelets to destroy them. Relief from bleeding for 1 to 4 days can often be effected in a patient with thrombocytopenia by giving fresh whole blood transfusion that contain large number of platelets. Also, splenectomy is often helpful, sometimes effecting almost complete cure because the spleen normally removes large number of platelets from the blood. Now let's discuss about thromboembolic conditions, starting with thrombi and embolus. An abnormal clot that develops in a blood vessel is called a thrombus. Once a clot has developed, continued flow of blood past the clot is likely to break it away from its attachment and cause the clot to flow with the blood. Such freely flowing clots are known as embolus. Also, emboli that originate in large arteries or in left side of the heart can flow peripherally and plug the arteries or arterioles in brain, kidneys or elsewhere. Emboli that originate in the venous system or in the right side of the heart generally flow into the lungs to cause pulmonary arterial embolism. Now, let's take a look on causes of thromboembolic conditions. Only rough endothelial surface of a vessel, as may be caused by arteriosclerosis infection or trauma, is likely to initiate the clotting process, and blood often clots when it flows very slowly through blood vessels, where small quantities of thrombin and other procoagulants are always being formed. Now let's move towards the treatment. Use of TPA, that is tissue plasminogen activator, in treating the intravascular clots. Genetically engineered tissue plasminogen activator is available. When delivered through a catheter to an area with a thrombus, it is effective in activating plasminogen to plasmin, which in turn can dissolve some intravascular clots. For instance, if used within the first hour or so after thrombotic occlusion of the coronary artery or after a stroke, the heart and the brain are often spared serious damage. Now let's discuss about the most common defect, that is femoral venous thrombosis and massive pulmonary embolism. because clotting almost always occurs in blood flow is blocked for many hours in any vessel of the body. The immobility of patients confined to bed plus the practice of propping the knees with pillow often causes intravascular clotting because of blood stasis in one or more of the leg veins for hours at a time. Then the clot grows mainly in the direction of the slowly moving venous blood, sometimes growing the entire length of the leg veins and occasionally even up into the common iliac vein and inferior vena cava. Then about 1 out of every 10 times a large part of the clot disengages from the attachment to the vessel wall and flows freely with the venous blood through the right side of the heart and into the pulmonary arteries to cause massive blockage of the pulmonary arteries called massive pulmonary embolism. If the clot is large enough to occlude both pulmonary arteries at the same time, immediate death ensues. If only one pulmonary artery is blocked, death may not occur, or the embolism may lead to death after a few hours or several days later because of further growth of the clot within the pulmonary vessel. However, again, the tissue plasminogen activator therapy can be a lifesaver. So that was all about thrombocytopenia, thromboembolic conditions, femoral vein thrombosis and massive pulmonary embolism. See you all in the next video. Till then, stay safe, take care. Like, share and subscribe.